All right. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Thanks so much for your patience. We are about to start Time Capsule. So welcome to Time Capsule here on the Game Zone Quick Hotfix. It is the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games that were released in the same year. I am your host, Smooth Operative, and tonight we are showing off two very different genres with speedruns of Max Payne and later Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. But before we get into the games, I want to make sure everybody knows that AGDQ 2023 online will be January 8th to the 15th, and game submissions and event volunteer applications are now open until September 24th. So you can use !AGDQ in the Twitch chat or head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more information on that. But I'm excited because we are about to get into Max Payne, and I have Endurance here to run it for us. So hi, Endurance, welcome.
Hello. Hey, everybody. I hope you guys are excited to watch some Max Payne. I love playing this game. I hope you guys like it.
I'm very excited, actually.
So yeah. Just one quick thing before we get started. Most speedruns, they start just with a new game. We're not going to do that because there's an unskippable cutscene, and we have a save just at the start of where we first gain control of Max. So we're just going to load that save and begin. I'll give you guys a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck.
What the hell?
And the first thing we're gonna try to do is do a super jump here. So we had to grab the shotgun because we need to get we need to have a one-handed and a two-handed weapon. Shotgun's two-handed, and I switched from the Beretta that they give us by default. And I was able to jump all the way up the stairs and activate and skip a cutscene and activate the first one here. And then we're gonna do another trick right off the bat. It's called save glitching, so I'm spamming the save button right now. And once we finally load into the next level here, I'm gonna load the saves that I made, and now I save glitched into the cutscene, so I can just mess around, do whatever I want right now. Max looks kind of funny when he's doing that, and I'm holding the fire key. But then we can move during the cutscene because I get control here, and we're gonna go over and activate another cutscene. So a lot of cutscenes so far, but there's that one, and that just allows us to go further through the level. We need to activate that before we can progress with anything else. I guess it'd be good to mention the main form of movement. The fast form of movement is just, there's no sprint button, so you just hold W and one of the strafe keys, and that's the fastest way to move in this game. So I also have an FPS counter up in the corner here. You might be noticing that. It's very useful because for super jumping, it's a frame perfect trick, so you'll see me cap my FPS at 30 when I go for those. And right now I have my FPS high up so that he can follow me. The transit worker that I just got down there, he's following me up the stairs right now because I need him to progress. And then I'm going to save glitch again here. And again, this just allows us to get movement during the cutscene so we can get to the end faster. That went a little interesting, but that's another thing about high FPS. Sometimes it makes the enemies act a little weird, and it makes Max harder to hit sometimes. And then, right off the bat, another big main glitch here. So I'm going to save glitch into this cutscene, and I'm going to do what's called the dead man walking glitch. So there's two versions of Max in this cutscene. You can't really see the other one right now, but he's in there, kind of next to where we activated the train. But the version of Max that we save glitch into the cutscene, he's gonna die. And we actually spawn into the other Max, and now if you look at the bottom left, I've taken full damage, and so the enemies won't shoot at me because they think I'm dead. And this lasts through levels and everything, so we're gonna be using this for a little while. It's very useful just because enemies won't shoot at us. But one of the downsides is that we can't save while we're in this because it just won't let us save because the game thinks we're dead. So right off the bat...
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Durin.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah, you can go.
I was saying, I think you mentioned something to me when you were practicing this, that when Max is in this kind of dead man walking glitch, if he, and maybe it's in certain situations, if he gets hit once, it's like game over, like he's dead.
Right, yeah. So that's why the health is all the way red, because we have the max amount of damage, so any little bit of damage at all will kill us, so... There's even parts of the game where there's just like a scripted grenade though. If the grenade hits you, you will die, so we literally have no health left at all. But luckily the enemies won't shoot at us, so that's good.
For right now, they're just kind of following Max around.
Yeah. So you see, there's a lot of enemies on this level, so that's why we really don't want to have to deal with any of them. And Definitely a lot of them will follow me like that.
They're like trying to get to the party. Max, where you going?
And super jumping is also faster just to get upstairs. That's why you've seen me doing that there. You can get up pretty fast. And now we have an unskippable 1 minute long cutscene, so that'd probably be a good time just for some more announcements.
For sure, yeah. I guess before announcements, maybe we should mention that when you are controlling Max's movement, it's actually faster to like hop onto things that are in your way, so maybe a box, and actually kind of like fall off of it. You get like just a tiny bit of movement like increase, so that's like some small little tech. So if you see endurance hopping over things, that's why.
Right, yep. It's usually faster if there's something just in your way, like in the straight line path. If you just jump on top of it and then fall off, you kind of get an extra speed boost from the gravitational velocity. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, so definitely something to include.
And now we're almost at the end of the level, just more super jumping up the stairs here. And this one is the one that saves the most time that I'm about to do here. Just gets to the end of the level faster. And then there, you might have seen I pulled up just the pause menu, and that's to skip the comic strip that usually pops up there at the end of the level. If you do it just right, it'll be faster in real time. Sorry. But that's the boss fight. There's a cool little thing we can do here where if we kind of fall off there and shoot, it increases the fire rate. So I tried to use that there. It kind of didn't work out, but that's okay.
That's like when you are switching in between weapons for like that extra shot, I guess.
No, you don't switch weapons. You just hold down the fire button, and as you fall off, it kind of increases the fire rate. Only for the weapons that shoot slow, so the shotgun and the sniper.
Right. Okay.
So again, we have the dead man walking glitch. So we just get to run through the level. We just need to activate that door so that this door opens, and if he gets out of my way, we can get to the end here.
The hooker had left her diary on the table.
And in this next level, I'm gonna use the painkillers right here. Once this level loads, and that deactivates the dead man walking glitch. Because next level we're going to save glitch into the opening cutscene. So that's why I'm using the painkillers here. And you see down at the bottom left, my health bar gets a little lighter there. So I used them. And next level I'll have, I'll just have a little bit of damage, that little bit that I didn't use at the bottom kind of his feet there. Another little trick here, this door, if we just ran into it, it would stop you, but I roll and it completes the rolling animation, so we kind of gain just a little bit of extra distance there. And there I actually had the weapon glitch, so I pressed 3 once, which would usually pull up the pump, but it actually just defaulted to the sawn off, which is bad because that's one-handed. And the shotgun's two-handed. But there we skip a fair bit of the level because we just jumped to where the end level trigger is, and that's why we didn't die, because we hit the end level trigger before Max took any damage. So here's the save glitch, and I'm rolling because it's faster during cutscenes to roll, because the game actually slows down time a little bit during cutscenes. Usually it's like 0.8 times speed of the normal game. In a few of these cutscenes, it's actually really slow. But rolling's faster because it's a bullet time move. So I'm using that here during the cutscene. And we just need to get over to where these canisters are to open this door. So I shoot those. I'm opening that door up right there. It's just a little optimization, but at the last part of the cutscene here, now I get teleported back. Max gets teleported back over there, and now I can gain forward progress in the level.
More bombs could still be ticking inside, and the cops would already be on their way. Jack Lupino's suite was on the top floor.
So now here we actually have a chance of dying, so it gets a little interesting, but with using uncapped FPS there, the enemies aren't too good at shooting, so usually they're not too much of a problem. This guy up here that I'm about to run into might be a problem. Usually not too bad. If you hit the super jump there, he won't shoot you. And there's 2 enemies behind me that are a little bit worrying, but here I just roll past them. Rolling's very effective just in the normal game to bypass a lot of enemies. And the Ingrams are the best weapon in this game, so you'll be noticing I'm trying to pick up the Ingrams as often as I can. And again, just running past enemies. And we're already into the next level, and I'm save glitching again into the cutscene here to just jump off that without taking any damage, because during most cutscenes, I guess I didn't say that, you're invincible, so that's why I didn't take any damage there. Some cutscenes, that's not true though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you said some cutscenes are just like not like that, but I'm sure you know like which ones are which by now.
Yeah, it would be hard to list them all off. It just depends on the actual cutscene.
Yeah.
But this level, we skipped all of it pretty much already, just as we were talking there, just with the power of super jumping. This first building we go into is also where the level ends. And I save glitch into the cutscene there, and I move the second version of Max out of the way. And that allows me to get to the end of the level here. Just a little bit of save glitching that I did there, just to... It's like 3 seconds faster just to save glitch into those first 2 cutscenes. Then I jump on the train here. And... another theme here, I save glitched again. So I spawned down here. Usually I'd be up there on that roof. You'll see it in the cutscene, because Vinny kind of jumps off off the train onto that roof. That's the one I would usually be on. And this cutscene plays out for a little bit. But during the cutscene, I'm gonna move at a certain point, and that'll allow me to get Max off of the rooftop that he's on right now and jump down to the street where I was, which skips about like 30 seconds of the level. So here now I'm holding W and spamming space because I need him to jump down below. And yep, so now I'm down back here, I was up there, and it saves a lot of time.
It's so interesting that you can control Max in the cutscene.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting. I feel like most games that's not really a thing, but
No.
in this one it happens to be. And now this is probably a little scarier gunfight here, especially if I mess up there. Probably go back. So we want to use the Ingrams for this because we have a lot of enemies. Okay. We have a lot of enemies here, and we need to make sure we can kill. And we really need his grenade because at the end of the level, there's a boss fight with Vinny, and we need that grenade to just to go through the boss fight really quick. You'll see when we get there here in a second. And because we skipped a lot of the level, we can just roll through that door. We need to roll, by the way, because when you roll, it slows the game down to 0.5 times speed. And that's the only thing that actually allows us to get through that door. And we need to kill all those enemies there. You might have noticed I skipped past the first enemy in the hallway because he pretty much always dies from the grenade that the enemies threw. And so here's the boss fight we already got here. So I'm save glitching into the door once again. And whenever the camera changes during a cutscene too, you can save glitch. I've done that before, but I don't think I mentioned it. So the camera changes here again, so that's why I save glitch again into the cutscene. And I killed the first group of enemies over in the one spot. And then I killed the other group of enemies over here, and I can come pick up their guns, and Vinny's dead, and we're on to the next level.
Too fast.
Yeah. And this is one of the most, I guess, feared levels if you're just starting to run the game. You'll see why here in about 2 seconds because of the save glitches I'm going to do. Or the super jumps I'm going to do, sorry. So I need to super jump onto this bookcase, and then we're going to super jump up there to that beam. And this is the one that's really hard. You have to be right on the edge here, and if I got it right, which I think I got it now, yep, you can just jump right up to here.
So easy for you.
It definitely takes a lot of practice. And I'm going to pick up those 2 Ingrams there once again because they're very, very useful. And we have a bunch of painkillers. Usually I don't go for that jump, but we have a bunch of painkillers, so I just went for it there. It's a little faster, but you can just go around and it's maybe like 4 seconds difference. But this level has a lot of enemies and it's pretty scary. We can die here. I try to save at good spots. Good spots to save are when Max is in the air. That's usually a good spot when he's about to land. I need to roll over here and then just try to super jump up here. We're skipping like a whole puzzle you would do by lowering those backdrops a little. And now we're at the end of the level.
Nice. Would you say that it was easy to learn this run, or do you feel like you had some challenges like throughout your journey of learning Max Payne?
Oh yeah, definitely challenges. It definitely wasn't easy. Super jumping, you have to really get used to it and really try. And also just knowing like how to take gunfights and everything, because the enemies are very, very powerful, and they will kill you very, very fast if you're not careful. So that's one of the harder things to learn as well there. And I guess one thing to note, almost all the time the super jump timing is the same, unless you're in a cutscene, because usually cutscenes slow down time, like that one, the one that I save glitched into earlier does. And so it's a little bit slower timing when I jump, so that's also very tricky to get used to there. And I save glitched into the boss fight here, and if I can kill the 2 enemies, then it's gonna allow me to kill him right away, right as he spawns, because he's invincible during the cutscene, but they aren't for some reason. Not really sure why. And that allowed us to finish that level pretty fast as well. And we're going into one of the nightmare sequences. I hope nobody gets too scared. I remember when I played this game as a kid, these scared me a lot, especially the Part 3 prologue is really, really scary to me.
Yeah, so you did play this game when you were a kid. Is it one of the games that you feel nostalgic for? Is that why you decided to give the run a try?
Oh yeah, that was definitely the reason. I knew I loved this game a lot. It's just got a lot of craft, passion put into it. I love all the comic strips.
Yeah, those are
that
cool.
kind of style, and just Max as a character and everything. That was definitely what made me want to run it in the first place.
Love to watch cartoons. Captain Baseball Bat Boy.
So in the prologue levels, you also slowed down just like in cutscenes. So again, I'm just rolling because that's the faster form of movement.
It was really impressive seeing you go through that whole kind of platforming section. It made it look very easy. I struggled with that.
Thanks.
I'm sure some of you in chat have as well.
Why? I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
And I save glitched again, and then I don't think I explained this, so I'm doing what's called cutscene stacking. So the cutscenes are kind of playing back and forth and playing all over each other. It kind of sounds crazy. But that just allows all the cutscenes to end faster if you go activate one cutscene that we needed to end the level. So I activated that first, and then went into the baby's room and activated a cutscene there.
Without a gun, I'd be no match for Frankie's men. I'd have to play hide and seek with them.
I've always wondered for this level what the developers were intending you to do here. It's not an easy level at all, and they don't give you any weapon. I guess they wanted you to just roll like a maniac. I'm not really sure.
Maybe.
But that's what we do, so.
Keeping it consistent with the rolls.
Yeah, definitely. And we're gonna do a dead man walking glitch here in this level too, as we kind of just dodge by that nade really quick. We're gonna do another dead man walking glitch. It works a little differently for this one than the one we did in part 1. I'm going to throw a nade at this door up ahead, and I'm gonna try to take the damage right as I enter into the cutscene here. I'm gonna make a safety save. So I'm gonna hold W and throw the grenade at the same time, and I'm saving just to like lag the game. It seems to make it more consistent, and you might be able to see the screen flash red, and that means I got it.
It's Payne.
And I just need to pick up again Ingram ammo, very, very important. And another cool thing, I can throw the grenade as I open the door before the cutscene starts.
Oh my
and that allows me
gosh.
to kill them really quickly, and I'm already done with the boss fight.
Wow.
Another cool little thing here that we haven't done yet, I'm spamming W plus shift, which makes Max do a shoot dodge forward. So for some levels, for some reason that works, where I can input movement on the loading screen, and it actually does it. For this level, it just happens to do so. And so yeah, we'll keep the Dead Man Walking glitch on for this level, and then 2 more levels after that. And then we'll turn it off for part 2, chapter 5, which is the last chapter of part 2.
Now, I know you were saying that taking the painkillers is what kind of takes you out of the Dead Man Walking glitch, but is there anything else that takes you out of it, or is it strictly painkillers?
Yeah, the only way we know is the painkillers. Nothing else seems to work.
I guess it's just fascinating because you're able to go through multiple levels this way. I don't know why. I guess I figured maybe a loading screen would mess it up or something, but pretty weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it doesn't mess it up, but then if you use painkillers, it's like, oh yeah, you're all healed up now. But
yeah.
Those super jumps are very, very risky because you can easily just not land and you'll die. So that's always a struggle if that happens during a run.
Yeah.
But luckily I made it through that part. And again, the boost, it just happens to work on this next level here. And we had to kill this guy. He's stuck there, kind of in the door. In our way, because we skipped that first part. We skipped a lot of that first part. So the baseball bat, it has like a lot of range. All the melee weapons do. So it kind of just hits him through the door, and that's what I was doing there. And yeah, we're way, way outside of the level. You're definitely not supposed to be here or see any of this. So we go around this whole building here, and we get to the ship here. That super jump is always risky. But that worked out.
Very nice.
And here's the boss fight with Boris Dime. He has the most health in the game out of any enemy, so he takes a lot of bullets. You'll see I'm gonna spray about 80 Ingram bullets into him before he even dies.
You know how to handle yourself. Anybody who says different is calling me a liar.
And Vlad thinks we've done a very good job, so that's nice too.
Approval from Vlad.
So this level, it's kind of an auto-scroller, especially since we have the Dead Man Walking glitch. It's really an auto-scroller because the enemies don't shoot, but we just run through the fire. You can kind of jump over that, which is cool. Most of this fire doesn't damage you at all, so I can kind of just run through it. This fire does for some reason, so I make sure to avoid that.
It's like the one fire.
And okay, I messed that up. That's the only problem. There's a little skip you can do there where you kind of jump twice. You jump onto the chair, you do it right, and then jump over, and you don't get damaged. It's always risky when you have the Dead Man Walking glitch, because any little tick of damage, you die. So I think this time I'll just go around the normal way over here. But yeah, I tried to just skip over that, which is what we would do in runs normally. But we're almost through all the fire now, and we're gonna go to the sewers.
I guess it's worth mentioning that you look down a lot before you do some of your super jumps, and that's just to help you with your lineups, correct?
Yeah, it's how I started learning it. It's kind of habit. I don't know if I necessarily need it now or not, because I feel like it's more just muscle memory now that I have. like if I try to do this one, well, then I missed it. So I don't know.
It is like,
I
don't
just started
fix
learning
it if it's not broken.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Upstairs, the trio tangoed down the manor halls to the silent rhythm of their murderers.
And then another save glitch here. Some I'll do in high FPS, some low. It seems to be different. Sometimes the game will lag a lot like this when you do it, and other times it won't. I can't really figure it out. It just seems to be not random, but I guess more level dependent again. So Max is talking about all the bosses that we're gonna fight in this level, but we only have to fight 2 of them instead of 3.
The pistol was a frozen lump in my hand,
and
piercing the skin.
we're gonna skip a lot of this level. First, we're killing the first boss here, Pilot Providence. We're gonna kill him and then roll through this door before we're supposed to. And this guy's being a menace. And then we're just gonna super jump. We're gonna super jump up to the balcony here, which is where the end of the level's at. We're gonna touch this door to activate the boss right there that just completely wrecked me. But we're gonna kill him and then kill these 2 guys. And we've already made it through the whole level, and Max is saying that the tree was done for.
Nice.
So again, there's a cutscene here, just saving. That's why the game goes really slow. And then I got to the end of the level.
Good job.
And now here's the scary prologue that I was talking about. This one really scared me as a kid, like seriously. All the baby screams. It's just not good.
Did you end up playing this game like alone, or did you have supervision of any kind?
No supervision. So I was all on my own.
Where are you, Max? Please.
And jumping up these stairs is a little faster. I guess that's just a little bit of movement tech there.
Someone had asked in the chat earlier what the runner thought of the Mark Wahlberg Max Payne. I don't know. Have you seen it, Endurance?
Yeah, I did see it. I saw it back when it came out, actually, and it wasn't very good. It wasn't much like this game at all. They painted them in a completely different light. So
I haven't seen it personally.
The story didn't really make sense at all. It wasn't a very well-made movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it just wasn't very well made at all. The writing wasn't very good. Yeah, it was kind of a disgrace to these games because I love, Max Payne 1, Max Payne 2,
of
Max Payne 3.
Yeah.
I love all those games. And yeah, the movie was not it.
Well, there you go. Thanks for answering the chat question, Endurance.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, and I'm walking there. I don't know if you noticed, Max was kind of limping around. That always happens when you go into this level because in the story, and that's one of the scary screams there. But in the story, Nicole Horn gives you like an overdose of Valkyrie, and you're kind of tripping off that, so you're very injured and everything. And I walked to allow Max to come out of the wounded state and heal up, because if I didn't, in every level after this one, he would be walking around slower while wounded. So we don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
That's kind of a bad bug that maybe they should have fixed, but I guess they didn't know about it. Because when you're rolling, you can't heal up at all. You have to start. You have to start just walking. And I need to do some save.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Endurance.
Just doing some save glitching here again. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I think that's what makes speedrunners such good, like QA testers, because they think outside the box, quite literally sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. This level is very scary about dying. The enemies get very hard in part 3, and they have a lot of good guns, like the Colt. So if you can, you want to try to not take as little damage as possible. So I'll be using a little bit of bullet time here, and super jumping to kind of get out of the way. Oh, and I guess another thing I didn't mention, so the reticle is kind of small, so you might not have even noticed. When I save glitch, the reticle goes away, so you kind of just have to get used to the aiming. That's another thing that takes a while to get used to.
Oh yeah, I haven't even noticed it most of the run.
Yeah, the reticle in this game, I wish we could change it. It's really small anyway, it's just a small little white dot in the center. But yeah, when you save glitch, it goes away, and your aim's like a little bit offset too, actually. So you have to aim like down more than you normally would. So that's pretty difficult.
I gotcha.
This level is really cool because of what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna super jump on top of this door, and I don't press any movement keys. And if I get it right... we might have to try again. Let's try again. Ooh, well, let's not try like that. Okay. But if I do it right, the door is gonna close while I'm on it, and it's gonna let me in here. And we're actually breached into a wall, which is the only time we ever do this in the run. And we're gonna do it, well, we're gonna do it one more time in this level, sorry, but this is the only level where we do anything like that, so that's kind of makes this level unique from everything else.
Yeah, that's an interesting little trick.
And for some reason you kind of walk on here. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we really need to kill this guy. He's very annoying. We need to get this M79 because we're gonna do the dead man walking glitch in part 3 as well. And we need the M79 to be able to do that.
The monitor showed me the way. Processing diagrams filled the control room screens, all but one. An elevator titled D6 on one of the screens, somewhere.
And just more save glitching. Those are the 3 main glitches in this game. Just save glitching, super jumping, and the dead man walking glitch. If you learn those 3, that would be good enough to, you know, get a really good run.
Would you say that there are many resources for like learning this game? Did you have to figure out a lot on your own, or did you have some kind people to help?
Yeah, I figured out a little bit on my own, but most of it was there's two good guides and one that I would really recommend. Danny Love has a guide on YouTube, Danilov. He has a really good guide that I followed. There's a separate video for each chapter, and he has like multiple different routes for doing each level. So if you're new to the game, he has a route where you use the dead man walking glitch throughout the entirety of part 1.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's very, very in-depth. Very, very good resource. I mainly use that. Also Augustin made a video that's useful, but Danny Loves is the most up-to-date. But yeah, most of it wasn't on my own. I found a few things on my own just testing, but almost everything I'm doing, it was not found by me. Kind of funny, we can save glitch into here and shoot some of the killer suits, and then we're gonna be able to move towards the store over here.
Attention all personnel.
If I get it right, you can see a shot of Max. And I didn't mention it, but I shoot sometimes to get enemies to just respond to me. That's useful there. I shot there so that they move forward and I can use the canister there to blow them all up.
That's certainly one way to get someone's attention.
Yeah. And this skips like half the level right there, just shooting that console, activating it, and then shooting the console. Normally you have to go get a scientist to kind of buzz you into the chamber and everything, but that skips a huge part of the level just by activating it and then shooting that console. And if you jump on that tripwire, it blows a lot of them up and doesn't hurt you, so that's also cool too.
Win-win.
That's weird.
A long time ago, there was nothing more for me here. The bunker's name was acting as a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So yeah, we're pretty much done with this level. Most of that was just a skip. There's not too many enemies. This is a very story-based level. They want you to go through, especially in that tripwire room. There's a huge story spoiler there. But we're gonna do the dead man walking glitch here. And we kind of use the countdown to help us time it. There we go, and you see the screen, you can really see it there, the screen flashes red, so that's how I know I got it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a good indicator.
And I did the cutscene skip there, so you saw the pause menu just pop up for just a second and then go away. That's just a minor save, and I think in real time, it probably doesn't save any time at all, but when we run the game, for the speedrun.com leaderboards, we use a load remover on live split. So there it helps, because if you time it just right, it won't waste any time at all. So that's really nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
But this level has a lot of enemies, and we don't want to have to deal with any of that, so we're in the dead man walking glitch for this level. And there's also death lines, so there's just a line where if I crossed it too early, I'll just die. It's in a few different places on this level, right here too as well. It's probably up there. So I just have to wait.
Is it just kind of trial and error, like how you know about those? Like you just have practiced it so much, you know exactly where those lines are, even though you can't see them?
I was just taught that. I kind of did a little testing of it, but yeah, it was just testing from people before me, other runners. They kind of know where the lines are. I know pretty much where they are. I just don't want to risk it and get too close and then end up dying and go back to the start of the level. That would really suck.
Not the time to hunt for one when you're on PB pace.
Right.
And actually, I want to point out that Endurance got the world record for this category just last week during practice. That's pretty hype. Congrats.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was really cool. Gave me some confidence going into this.
The phone started to ring.
And yeah, and I guess I should probably say that at the end.
Yeah, no worries.
It was an impressive floor show, but I decided to leave early anyway. It was only a one-story fall.
So I accidentally save glitched into there, but we don't, because you can't do anything anyway. You're kind of stuck inside of a wall. That does happen with some cutscenes. If you save glitch into them, you'll just be stuck inside of a wall. That's one of them, so I don't save glitch into there, even though I could. And I was lucky to get past all those enemies without getting hit at all. And this this is a huge skip. This is probably the level we skip like the most, just by doing that one super jump up the balcony there. And then we just go down here, and the door actually lets us open it from the other side. We're not supposed to do that. But, ooh, that's not good. But, we're able to do it. If you kind of hit it just right, you have to kind of walk in an angle, and then you can kind of get it to open. This time I'll make sure I save first. Yeah, because these enemies can be tough, especially since I have low health. That definitely shows you how good the enemies are. But there we go, I got through that, and I used the M79 there. There's a bunch of tripwires there, and here too, but they all get destroyed, just by that one shot. And then I'm gonna save glitch into this cutscene again, and super jump up here, so that skips just going around there and getting onto that balcony part. And just more super jumping. This just skips going over there by where all the enemies are that are shooting at me right now. Just skips a little bit of time.
Would you say that, like, as you get further into the game, that some of the enemies have, like, better aim, and so you find yourself getting hit a little bit more towards the end of the game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's in the stats. Yeah, they definitely do. There's reflex. There's, like, a reflex stat in the game, so the enemies will actually react faster.
Oh, okay.
Depending on what type of enemy they are. The killer suits and the commandos have like the best reflexes, so they're very, very deadly. That was not a good save. I might need to kill him. But we're already at the end of the level right here. If I can just kill these two dudes, because they are very, very deadly, because they have Colt Commandos, which are very, very good. But yep, there's the end of the level there. And luckily, this doesn't happen most times in the game, but I guess they were feeling generous, and they actually healed us and gave us a bunch of weapons for these last two levels here.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah, it doesn't happen for most levels, so it's kind of funny that they did it for these last two. But we're gonna skip a big part of this level just by doing those 3 super jumps here. And kind of just going in this elevator. That's a little skip, because normally you would have to fight 3 enemies and then be able to get in the elevator. But if you kind of do it right as the comic strip is fading out, you can just get right into the elevator. And if you got any time for announcements now, would probably be a good time. Shooting these tripwires.
Always time for announcements. I guess I want to say shout outs to all of our amazing supporters. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support Games Done Quick, both with Hotfix and with AGDQ 2023 costs. So if you are enjoying Hotfix on a regular basis, please consider subscribing. And if you want to follow what Games Done Quick is up to, you can use the command !links here in the Twitch chat for all things GDQ.
And again, rolling is really powerful, so instead of fighting all these enemies that are very, very strong, we're just gonna roll past them and hope we don't get shot right here. And that shows you the range of the baseball bat, by the way. You can just destroy that glass from all the way down there. Super jumping up there is just a little skip. Normally, we would just wait and one of the glass on the side kind of breaks open from the helicopter and you can just jump into here anyway. But if you can get the super jump, it just saves a little bit of time. I'm gonna kill these 3 dudes. and throw the grenade to destroy all of those over there.
All Horn's locks were now offline. All bets were off. The elevator would take me all the way up.
So yeah, destroyed all of Horn's locks, like Max said, and we can take this elevator and get to the end of this level. And because you might have noticed the screen flashed, it flashed because we skipped a bunch of enemies and they actually tried to follow us still while they're all the way up here, and they walked into tripwires and died, so I kind of skipped their kill cam. And you can see those dudes are all the way down there because normally they wouldn't be there, but we skipped them. So I always like to look at them while I have time.
Just be like, later haters.
That first super jump there, we do it just to skip hitting an enemy trigger, so that's why none of these guys are moving. And then the second one, it's just faster to go up the stairs. And then we're on the final level already. So we save glitch again into the cutscene and save glitch again. And I'm gonna super jump. Oh. I'm gonna super jump up here and kill these guys and skip their cutscene again. And this would be a very long level, but you'll see here in a second after these save glitches, we can just super jump up the entire building, which feels very, very fun. And this is an example, actually, this cutscene, the game speed isn't slowed down, so I'm actually just walking in this cutscene. And then we can super jump up, because of these nice little railings here, we can super jump up this whole building. Normally we would still be in the first room, and the helicopter would be shooting at us like it is now, but we can just get up here and get to the end.
That's some intense platforming, my goodness.
Yeah, with super jumping it almost feels like a platforming game sometimes, it really does. And a little bit off there. I guess one thing I didn't explain there is that I pressed the pause button quickly and then unpaused. Because like I said, when you save glitch, all of your HUD elements actually go away, but if you pause it and unpause it, we can actually use the sniper rifle HUD when we aim in, and we can actually see it, so I use that to aim on the last two wires there. And that's actually the end of the game there. I'm sorry, I forgot to say stop the timer, but yeah, that was the end there.
That was time. Okay, it's time.
Yep.
Wow, good job, Endurance. That was, I think, a blink and you'll miss it kind of run. Very nicely done, my friend.
Oh yeah,
do you have any shout-outs, comments, anything you'd like to say before we get to the next run?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out Danilov. I mentioned him earlier. He helped me out a lot. He's one of the main mods on the Max Payne 1 speedrun leaderboards. So go check out his YouTube channel. It's DANILOV. And Augustin and Joe Drinks Beer, they were pivotal to turning the run into what it is today. So big thanks to them. And I just wanted to shout out my YouTube channel really quick. It's just Endurance, same as it's spelled on the stream. And I'm gonna definitely be making more Max Payne content on there as well. So if you want to see that, come check it out.
Awesome.
And
well,
I think that's all I got.
Well, thank you again so much, Endurance, for taking the time to show off this game. I know you weren't maybe playing it when I messaged about it, but we appreciate you de-resting and showing it off. But yeah, everybody, thanks for watching Max Payne. We're not done yet. We are going to be setting up for Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, so stay tuned. All right, everybody, welcome back to Time Capsule here on the Games Done Quick Hotfix. It's the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games that were released in the same year. We are focused on 2001 tonight, and we are all set up for Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. So please welcome Trots. Hi, Trots.
What's up, guys? I'm Trots. TJ is my co-host. So,
hello.
We're doing
Welcome,
some hundo.
TJ.
I feel very welcome.
Hundo. So, yeah, whenever you are feeling comfortable and ready, you can give us the countdown.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so we got everyone's favorite level of the game right here, especially all of us Jack runners. Geyser Rock, best level in the game. We all love it. We're definitely not looking to get out of Geyser any sooner.
TJ's a troll.
Just a little bit. We do a bit of trolling. So we're actually a good amount into Geyser Rock. We're technically 50% of the way through. Actually, not even technically, we are. So far, so everything that 100% encompasses for Jak 1 is catching all 101 power cells, all 2,000 orbs, and I believe it's 112 scout flies off the top of my head. I could be wrong on that number, but we don't necessarily need to pay attention to the number of scout flies because every 7 scout flies you get a power cell, or rather every 7 scout flies per level you get a power cell.
Also, what's up, Jak homies? Thanks for the good luck. Appreciate you guys.
Here we are finishing up Geyser Rock. Very quick, very fast, like in, out, done. Even though we do see it a lot because classic first levels of games.
Good training, boys, but that's nothing compared to the challenges that lie ahead.
Now we got what everyone has been avoiding recently with the newest release of Open Goal, where it is a natively running PC port of Jak 1, which offers cutscene skips that we do not have on the PS2. So, how long is this cutscene? Like a minute and a half? I don't think it's that long.
No, it's like 50 seconds.
Okay. It just feels like way longer.
I know.
Because I'm not just sitting there waiting.
The tedious cutscenes.
Just like I got my hands on the control and getting antsy. Let me go. Let me get on with these adventures, as Samos says.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about Hundo much. All the cutscenes, it's nice to take a break sometimes though.
I will say I am interested in doing some open goal hundo because now we're getting at the point where sub 120 is just around the corner. And that alone is insane to me. Because like sub 130 for hundo on the PS2, that just seemed like a pipe dream. Like maybe someday if we find some like weird skip.
Yeah, I'm waiting for some new skip to be found. That'd be actually really interesting. I feel like nothing that huge has been found in a long time.
What was the last thing we found for Jak 1? That like wasn't open goal.
It was like huge. I don't know. FCS, I guess.
Yeah.
Have both of you been running this game for a long time?
I have been running this for nearly 2 years. I started in November of 2020.
Yeah, and I started in like January of 2021.
Something to do to pass the time during these COVID times, I guess.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. I remember for me, I think I had just finished like playing the game again for like the 5th time that like month, and I was like, I need a new way to play this. I'm bored at this point. I've 100%ed this game too many times. to keep playing it like this.
Yeah, I don't even remember how I started, really. I think I just, like, was messing around with stuff, and one of my friends, Morty, found me and kind of taught me how to run.
Free Morty.
Free Morty. Oh, no.
No, trust. So normally we try to avoid this. If you get too close to the start of the bridge, you set off that cutscene. When instead we want to get just far enough away so that we avoid that and just roll jump over instead.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's like a couple seconds or something. I actually don't know how long that cutscene is.
You would think that me, the all cutscenes runner, would know, but no, I do not. I'm seeing plenty of. I've only seen one free Morty. I know we can free Morty. I miss that man so much every day.
We'll clip this and send it to Morty.
I think we haven't done a whole lot of explaining of a lot that's happening here.
Yeah. I mean, nothing that crazy's happened yet, though. Just pretty much doing the quickest movement possible and getting all the orbs and
So
cells.
all this movement's just like your standard movement. Like, do you control the character this way, like in a casual run?
Yeah. It's for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
In a lot more casual runs, you'll end up seeing just a lot more, like, Jak not punching a roll jump, make just a lot of walking instead. And that's just, like, not realizing, it's like, oh, if I punch and roll jump, it's way faster too. But those are just, like, standard movement options and whatnot for the game.
Okay.
If anything, I would say Misty is where everything starts getting a lot more. Like, you get to see a lot more of what the game has to offer movement-wise.
Also, I don't know why I just walked into that guy. Not paying attention.
I was gonna say you're a little bit more damaged than you would necessarily want to be for this fight.
Yeah. I have one health.
I was kind of hoping that you would end up getting too close to Plant Boss there. For people who don't know, if you're on 1 health and you get too close to the Plant Boss when he bites, he will eat you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of heartbreaking to see sometimes, like, oh no, you were so close. But no, you got too close. You flew too close to the Sun Icarus. So now we've defeated the plant boss. We're back out at the temple. The button that we saw Trotte earlier in the temple, oh, nice little rocket there. That button unlocks all of the blue eco vents across the games that have caps on them. Not all vents have caps on them, but some of them do, like we see in levels like Sentinel Beach or Fire Canyon. Those have some capped off blue eco vents, which, we try to get that open up as fast as we can. That way we can utilize those, because who doesn't want blue eco? It makes you go fast. And it activates stuff. Now, Trots, do you do mirror cutscenes?
Yeah.
And Fisherman?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So this is going to be kind of fun to watch. We'll see it here in a second, and I'll try to explain as it's going. So now we've gotten the last Scoutfly of Forbidden Jungle. We're going to connect this mirror. And right as this ends, you want to hit pause, and it starts the dialogue, or it starts the audio for the Fisherman cutscene. And during this time, we use that to collect whatever orbs that we've left throughout the level, because when you go to talk to Fisherman, now that the cutscene is technically started, it'll skip ahead to this point in the cutscene, and it looks really weird because the actual like animation for the cutscene starts at the beginning, but the audio's in the middle. It's all weird. See in a second here.
There are two types of good
game kind of freaks out for a second.
1 pound fishies and 5 pound fishies.
And so now we're going into everyone's favorite minigame.
Then I'm gonna take
I don't care who you are. If this minigame, best minigame ever. Across the entirety of the Jak and Daxter series.
Are we going fishing?
We're going fishing.
Yes, we are. We got some green 1 pound fishies and some yellow 5 pound fishies. And some poisonous eels that you want to avoid. Are there any guesses as to how many pounds of fish Trots will have at the end of third phase?
I don't know. What can the character carry back?
You have to grab 200.
Oh my gosh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, you catch 200 pounds of fish for the fisherman. In exchange, he lets you use his boat to get to Misty Island, in where there's an intro cutscene to the game that we end up skipping. 114 at the end of third phase, by the way. That kind of showcases Misty Island a little bit, but we're trying to get back to Misty Island so we can get more power cells and whatnot. And as well with doing this, not only do you get the boat, you also get another power cell.
Okay.
Because this guy, he's a fisherman, but apparently we have to do his job for him. He's like, there is a sort of pumpkinish looking boat in Sandover Village that we'll get to see when we go back to Sandover Village. It's the fisherman's original boat that the giant lurker shark took a bite out of. You want some Jak and Daxter lore there?
It's the season, I suppose.
Who doesn't love a bit of lore? I think that's the only way that you can actually refer to any bit of a story. Is I feel like lore is the best way to refer to it.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't always get lore as part of speedruns because everything's usually too fast. But I guess with a 100% run, we have a little bit more time to dive deep.
Yeah, we got a little bit more time to get into this a little bit.
Oh, thank
and
God.
He got it.
Yeah.
All right.
I just realized I could have soft locked if I did that. If I did that wrong.
I know. I was waiting to see. So right there at that last mirror, when you connect it, there is you want to do a sort of pause buffer, and I'll explain what a pause buffer is, but you want to hit either X or triangle at the same time that you hit start, and you can skip the final mirror cutscene, which is like a 15-second long cutscene. Nobody wants to see that. But if you do it wrong, you can potentially soft lock one of the power cells that you get from the mare, effectively invalidating your whole 100% run.
Yeah, I should not have gone for that. I realized it halfway through, but I was like,
I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, yeah, this is all normal and everything. And then I was like, wait, hang on. There's a slight possibility of a soft lock. I'm not even gonna say anything. We'll just let it happen. That
was a terrible idea.
If I say something, it's gonna happen.
Hey, luckily I got it though, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're fine.
Now we're hunting down these Zeppelin lurkers in Misty. Oh, you're not even gonna go for the.
I don't do fast cycle now.
I think you could have hit it there.
No, I could have, but I just do vortexes. Rat.
Actually, vortexes cycle is good here too. So I guess we can kind of explain a little bit. I mean, I think a word like cycle that can go without explaining what it is. We all pretty much know what a cycle is. These Misty Zeppelin lurkers, they are on a cycle. And that cycle can get manipulated a little bit just by sheer movement getting here. We see it a lot more in something like No LCS. But, you know, here we're just looking to kill them as fast as possible, so that, while also making sure that we collect everything in an efficient manner. You know, pretty much something standard for a speedrun, you know? At least I would hope it would be standard. Efficiency would be nice. But, so now we've done that. No more zoomer needed. At least in Misty Island, at least. So we're gonna clean up this first little area, and there's a lot more of this level that I feel like I would want to explain, but it more involves like you would have to have watched that intro cutscene. So it's like what I would want to say wouldn't even matter. So now I'm just kind of talking to myself, I guess.
I was going to ask, like, why Jak and Dax? Like, does this game have any kind of importance to either of you from, like, maybe when it was released or thereafter in 2001?
I think it was my first game as a kid.
Oh, wow, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Same for me.
Wow, awesome.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I mean, I don't think I was necessarily playing this in 2001, considering I would have been one. Yeah, I would say I would have gotten the firm grasp of the controls then. But
I was 3 in 2001. I think I got this game when I was like 9.
I probably had this when I was like 4 or 5.
Did you?
I've always said this was one of the first 2 games.
Was it something that you played with friends or by yourself?
For me, I played this a lot with my brother.
Oh, cool.
He and I played a lot of this game. Like the sequels, like we didn't like know as well, but we still had a lot of love for the sequels. But this game, like especially for me, after a while, I knew this game like the back of my hand. I was like, no, I know where everything is. It's like, you know, it might take me a while to 100% this, but I could easily do this in one sitting.
Nice.
How about you, Trots? How much did you play this as a kid?
I didn't play this one as much as I played Jak 3. That was my favorite one as a kid.
Jak 3 was always mine as well.
But later on, this one became my favorite, I guess.
Would you say that the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's definitely my favorite now.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, if the speed tech itself is very different between the games in the series.
To some degree, yeah. Like, in terms of, like, Jak's actual movement itself, it stays the same throughout each of the games, but with the second game, we get the introduction of Jak having guns and a jet board.
Oh, which, fancy.
You know, nice little, like, hover skateboard thing. Pretty cool.
That is cool, I agree.
Was that the first boosted I've done? Oh no, that's like the second one, I think. Did we explain boosteds at all?
I don't think we did. But I don't think there was a lot of like times that we saw boosteds. I don't necessarily know how to explain how a boosted works. I know the steps that goes into it. You want to slow walk off of any ledge pretty much, and as you watch Jak start to fall, you want to do a uppercut with pretty quick inputs, and Jak will what's the best way to like word it? I guess he just goes way far.
Yeah, it's I don't know how it works at all, but basically if you have to slow walk also. You can't really run off a ledge and do it, but you slow walk off a ledge and do an uppercut, and for whatever reason it just sends you flying. I don't know, but it's definitely necessary for all speedruns.
Yeah. And in reference to the power cell we were talking about that could get soft locked, that was the power cell. because if you do it wrong, that last beam going from that last mirror to the mayor's actual hut, it just won't go. And if it's not going, then the mayor's hut isn't going, and then, hey, he's just like, well, you didn't do what I asked. And there's no way out of it because you save loaded. You can't redo a mirror.
Yeah. Basically, it was very stupid of me to do that, but whatever, it worked out.
I feel like that's the second time you've said that this evening.
we're really caught up on that right now. It just, that could have been bad.
Just going for it.
And there's no way to tell because
we're just doing stuff,
It looks like you get it, but when you save load, it's not until after you load in that you can tell that you didn't get it. So there's no way to tell if you're gonna soft lock at all. It looks like you did it right, but you didn't.
So you just kind of have to wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of
nerve-wracking, yeah.
Yeah.
I see you two are back to make the trade. Good.
I've only done it a small handful of times. I know I did it in a race, and I was like, well, I'll see you guys in 12 minutes.
To good use. Cheerio, ta-ta, bye-bye.
Now we've finished talking to Jack's supposed uncle. We only say supposed because Jack is actually not from this timeline, as we learn in the second game.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have no idea who this guy is. He's just some dude that's like, yeah, I'm your uncle, give me money. And we're like, okay, sure.
He's faking it.
I think so. I think he's a con artist in actuality. He says he's going on all these adventures and whatnot. He was supposed to set on his journey the other day.
Extorting us.
So now we got the. Now we're heading into Sentinel Beach. So now we're gonna climb up the tower to get to the cannon, which not the intended way to get up there, but you know, who needs intended ways to get up when we have the unintended faster way?
I wasn't sure if that would work.
I know, I was kind of staring and I was like, yeah. So right now we're just breaking open these orb crates because we need all 2,000 of those orbs. So now, if you're a little squeamish, don't watch. No, I'm just kidding. So right at the beginning of Sentinel, we see that Pelican scoop up that power cell on the beach and go to that nest. Pelican's not there anymore. Pelican's gone.
Pelican is dead.
Shot him with a cannon. Which, you do have the option to just go up to the cannon, or the cannon, go up to the Pelican and punch or kick him, and he'll spit out the power cell, and you could race him for that. But that's slow. So
what's up,
we're
Josh?
not going to do that.
Got Josh in the chat.
Woo! Mr. Outrageous.
Mr. Outrag.
Reload. We're just going through and collecting a bunch of orbs. We're gonna hit that up because we're gonna use that log a little bit here. And that blue eco vent, that's actually one of them that I was referring to earlier that was capped off. You can kind of see like the cap in the blue eco. Sort of like upside down trapezoid looking thing. I guess that's the best way to describe it. So we get to use that blue eco, which is really helpful for collecting everything. Scoutfly boxes will break automatically and you'll collect the Scoutfly. Orbs will just magnetize towards you. And Jack just moves faster as well. Blue eco is pretty cool to have. But we can only have it for a limited time. Now we just finished scaring the birds, which looked like pretty good bird RNG.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I'm not sure if it's faster.
Didn't have to sit there and wait.
Yeah, I don't know if it's faster to get them on the way back after you get those 5 orbs or not, but I would think it is.
I don't think it's necessarily faster either way. I think it's just, at least with Hundo, you have a second chance at getting them. Like, if they're not there when you first head to those steps, then you don't have to wait for them. Which is a very unfortunate part of the game sometimes, when you gotta wait for the birds to land there because you can't set them off. You need to set them off 3 times at each of the sentinels there for them to go and cause an avalanche and free up a power cell. And I can't think of the longest I've seen someone wait on birds. Like, I think I've seen at least like 10 seconds somebody was waiting there.
No, 100%. It can take a while. Rhoda.
Which... Gotta pay attention, I guess.
Forgot to mention it, Rhoda, sorry. Killed almost everyone, you're just not special enough. Just kidding.
Alright, so now we're going along this cliffside, collecting up blue eco, open up that orb vent, and we're also going to punch down this giant egg.
Good job.
Because this giant egg contains one of my favorite video game animals, characters, whatever you want to call Flat Flat.
Yeah,
this
what
is
even
where we
is
get
Flat
the Flat
Flat?
It's a giant bird. But
It's a giant bird.
Can we call her a character? I would say yes.
I think so.
Isn't that cute? It's
Super pretty.
Your mama.
I love Flat Flat. Like, as a kid, easily one of my favorite
Love at first sight.
characters. Flat Flat is really cool because later in the game, in 2 levels, Boggy Swamp and Snowy Mountain, we will get to ride Flat Flat.
Ooh, fun.
And wow, playing collecting everything in the levels with Flat Flat, very fun. It's especially for Snowy, because Snowy we do some shenanigans and get Flat Flat out of her intended area. But we'll talk about that more when we actually get there. Now we're finishing up Sentinel Beach, heading out of here. Now we have one of my favorite NPCs.
The sculptor and his muse.
I love the sculptor.
You saved her! Oh, you really are the best. Here,
This man just
take
loves
this
his muse.
parcel. I won't need it now that I have my inspiration back.
What's up, Flu? You wanna,
Of course, there is always...
you wanna tell him about the lore?
I don't necessarily got like muse and sculptor lore. I was more just gonna bring up how it's always very funny watching somebody going through doing a run, and then because at the beginning of Misty Island, that's when we catch the muse. The muse is at Misty Island. Sometimes we forget to catch the muse, and you know, we'll go in to talk to the sculptor, and we expect him to give his normal dialogues with, "Oh, my muse," and sometimes instead of that, we hear, "Oh, little furry dude," and while I do like that line just because it's so funny the way he says it to me, it still breaks my heart because it means I left the muse in Misty Island.
I feel like you did a good impression of that.
I've been doing impressions of each of these characters since I was able to.
There you go.
Yeah, TJ's pretty good at impressions.
I'll do my warrior. Well, I guess it's not my warrior impression. It's more just my Joe Swanson impressions that I always do for Warrior's dialogue instead.
The pressure's on now, TJ, for you to voice every cutscene from here on out.
Oh man. How am I gonna voice Kira? Actually, Kira's like one of the few NPCs that I don't ever do an impression for, and I think it's just because I have an easier time with the male NPCs. But I'll try to give my best Kira.
No pressure, of course.
Alright, so now we're climbing up the Fire Canyon. Putting the pressure on. Oh, bad RNG on the. Not even RNG, but I prefer to say RNG. And so here we want to load the Fire Canyon text early because while we're collecting this, here I'll pause for a second. Great! All right, that's the most you're getting. So we want to trigger that Fire Canyon text early there because if it overlaps with the 50 out of 50 orbs for Sandover Village, you're kind of stuck waiting for both of them to go away, and so you're just standing next to Kira, just waiting to be able to talk to her, whereas if you get the Fire Canyon text, go back, gives it time to go away, and then get the 50 out of 50 orbs text, and then you don't have to wait. I don't know how much... I don't know if it really saves that much time. Like, if anything, it'd be negligible, like a second.
Wait for
it's
what?
Still getting the Fire Canyon text and then getting the orbs.
Oh.
Like going back for those 2 orbs.
Yeah.
It's just preferable to do that than sit there for 4 seconds waiting just to talk to Kira.
Praying I haven't missed any orbs. I know I haven't in Misty.
We'll be able to see this.
I think I'm good because
every crate in Fire Canyon has 10 orbs.
Let's go.
So as long as you have a multiple of 10, you're good. Now, if my cell counts were correct earlier, at the end of Fire Canyon, you have what, 36 cells?
Yes. Yeah.
Alright, so that's the end of Hub 1. We like to separate, we like to refer to everything as like hubs in the game, where now we're heading into Rock Village, where this is the Hub 2 level.
First cutscene skip, right?
Yeah, this would be the first cutscene skip. So right there, we do a pause buffer and hit the button, and pause buffering puts Jak in this state of... I think my favorite way that it was ever explained was he's immune to cutscenes. So the game pretty much believes that the game it's in a pause state, so the cutscene won't play, but you still have full movement or control over Jak. And the pause buffer is real simple. You just gotta hit either L2 or R2 at the same time you press the start button.
Well, perhaps we can help.
Even though that is difficult for some people.
I've been studying the burrowing habits of lightning moles in the Precursor Basin next to our village.
We won't name any
But now those awful lurkers
any
have scared
names.
the moles to the surface.
I was really trying to figure out a way that I could incorporate like an actual name into that sentence without and making it like the most obvious thing. But I won't meme on someone right now. I'll be nice.
Maybe for 2 power cells.
Nice try. But I would be willing to
More
work with another
cutscenes.
power cell if you two find
Got
90
2 cutscenes to watch right now.
Fair enough?
Right now we have,
I guess, 3.
the geologist.
Oh, you have the orbs.
Yeah.
3
3 cutscenes.
So what's
We have the
happening here?
So right now we are talking to this lovely geologist, and she's allowing us to buy a power cell for 90 precursor orbs, just like most other NPCs. And she's also saying, hey, I got a second power cell, but I'm not just going to sell it to you. There's these blind lightning bolts in the Precursor Basins. Yep, the Precursor Basin, and I want you to help them get back home. Like, okay, fine. We'll hurt some lightning bolts.
Right, so you could get 2 power cells from her, and 2 from the gambler here.
A gambler, similar deal. 90 orbs for a power cell. And as he just finished explaining, there is the Dead Man's Gorge race there, where he wants you to beat the record time of 45 seconds, which is pretty doable.
So I'm guessing throughout the run you'll be going on a lot of these kind of quests for the orbs you said?
Right. For
Yeah.
cells and
For cells,
Yeah, for
that's
cells.
it, yeah. Now
But now,
I have a legitimate question. Does Jak ever talk?
he does not.
Interesting.
He is completely mute throughout the entirety of the first game. It was only in the second game that we actually get a voice line from him.
I got screwed by
Silent hero.
moles.
Those are some bad moles.
Yeah,
man.
that was terrible.
So essentially, what we kind of hope for before we even start hunting down this first purple lurker, we hope to get 3 of those moles into that hole, and you got, what, 1?
I got 1, yeah.
Now, we do hope that with the first one, that you can get 2 of them to go in at the same time. We always refer to that as double moles, and it's very satisfying to get because the moles are pretty tricky to kind of herd around.
Oh, I got a double there.
Oh, that was very close.
Yeah, that was kind of sketch. Last one's right over there. I have to go back for him.
Yeah, we can grab him after this lurker though.
Yeah. What's the best way to do this? Go like this. You might flip around though. Yeah. They like to run the opposite way after you mess up on getting them in there.
Yeah, once they're already going the wrong way, it is not easy trying to like redirect them. It's a lot of weird combination of like trying to hold down X but also not too much. Like you actually have to like go through with like the pressure sensitivity of it. Like, okay, if you're making too much zoomer noise, then he just goes running way further, I think, and then it's a whole process and it's a pain. So right now we're doing the Dead Man's Gorge race, collecting up as much eco during this as we can because we want to use the blue eco throughout the rest of the, or not necessarily the rest of the level, but a good portion of the level. It's gonna make a lot of it very fast. I don't necessarily know how to describe the different amounts of speed that the zoomer gets per eco. I've always just referred to it as 1 eco, 2 eco, 3 eco, you know, so on.
It's like barely faster to get that extra eco in there. You noticed it on the ledge. And you can also lose all your eco trying to get that single one, so I didn't even bother.
Yeah, driving with blue eco on the zoomer, so you have to have X held down the entire time or else you'll lose the blue eco. And if you bonk the zoomer on anything, you also lose the blue eco. So a lot of what we do to help control the zoomer, because sometimes it's a little hard to control going that fast, we'll use square to slow us down a little bit, hit the brakes just a tad. Vents give 2 eco, clusters give 1 eco, max is 6 eco. Thank you, Rhoda. So now this is flying lurker number 3. I think the fastest I've seen anyone get this lurker is like as he's going through what I always refer to that bit of basin as the donut, just because, you know, it looks like a donut. Here I go equating more things to food. Anyways, I think I've seen someone get the lurker as it's like going down through the donut, but it is very hard to get it. If you just follow him a little after the donut, it becomes very easy to cut off. Like, you just gotta drive a little bit on the inside of his path and cut him off very easy. So now we just cured the dark eco plants, and that was 1 cycle, right? I wasn't.
Yeah, that was 1 cycle.
Kind of like, okay.
Yeah, you can get all those
I like
plants.
blanked out.
Yeah, it was a 1 cycle.
Yeah, you can get all those plants in 1 charge of the green eco, which that is the only time that we actually get to see green eco in the meter, because this is the only time that we see Jak on the zoomer with a green eco vent in the same level. Because the only other level with green eco vents would be Sentinel Beach, but we don't have the zoomer there. But now we're moving on to this last flying lurker. You notice we left the power cell behind after carrying the plants. That one we actually will go back for later. Because we did those purple rings, or... Yeah, they are purple rings, but I always saw them as more pinkish, honestly.
Yeah.
But, so we do those first purple rings.
But we call them purple rings.
Yeah. But it's not until after you finish those rings that that next set of blue rings unlocks. And it just so happens that the path that these blue rings take you on, the power cell for the plants just happens to be right in the middle of it. So it's just a lot easier to grab it while we're doing this, rather than grabbing it, then turning around, and then going on to do whatever. And this part, I always hated coming back up through here, because if you're going too fast, you can easily jump over that ring, and with the blue rings, they give you a lot less time if you miss one to go back for it.
Yeah, they're pretty hard for me as a kid, but now blue rings are like kind of the boring part of Basin, honestly. Without having eco, it's pretty slow, pretty boring.
Yeah, it's kind of like, alright, wish we had some eco, just to make this a little bit more exciting.
Yeah. But this part does kind of suck right here.
Yeah, I never liked driving on the left side of the donut. I always end up driving on the right side. And I think they know that intentionally. Like when they place that blue ring there, they're like, all right, literally everyone that's been playtesting us so far keeps driving on the right side, so we're gonna make them go on the left side with this blue ring. So that's the last blue ring of Basin. So now we're just gonna skip this power cell cutscene by holding down our HUD button and pausing right as we hit it. And then we get to load right out of Basin. Grab this blue eco, do a little bit of tight movement, grab this orb vent.
Beware of the dark.
Now we trade more orbs for power cells.
The fate of one of you.
I always hated going to the Oracle for power cells as a kid.
Yeah, Sam.
Dude charges 120 for each power cell, when every other NPC charges 90. I mean, grab a hard bargain, but I think I'm going to go with the NPCs.
For your sacrifice.
Yeah, how many orbs extra do we have at the end of the game? Because you don't even need all the orbs to buy all the power cells.
It is 470.
How much?
470.
Yeah, okay. That sounds right.
Thank you for saving those moles. That's awfully good of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of orbs that we don't necessarily use, but as a casual player, you might get the Citadel before you've even bought like all the other NPC orbs, and you're like, or not NPC orbs, NPC power cells rather. And you're like, well, I want to go back through and buy those power cells. Well, you get 200 orbs in Citadel. But of course, we're not going to use those. So here, as we're heading now to the Lost Precursor City, you can notice that Tross is keeping his camera to the left here, is actually to avoid watching the Blue Sage cutscene rather by mistake. Because we skipped that right at the beginning of Hub 2, the cutscene is still there and active, and Jack's player model can be in like the cutscene range and whatnot, and that's fine. But if the camera touches it, you get put into the cutscene, which completely undoes the whole point of skipping the cutscene.
Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous for LPC because level kind of sucks. My favorite level as a kid, I think, and Snowy, but speedrunning wise, it's kind of a nightmare.
I feel like that's a common trend I'm noticing amongst like a lot of the Jak runners is whatever we liked as a kid, we hate doing it in the speedrun.
Yeah. Snowy and LPC had to have been my favorite.
I think Snowy was definitely my favorite level. Of course, we're just a couple of California boys who never get to see the snow anyway, so...
I know.
Alright, so now we're gonna do these follow the colored pipes little things. So you hit those buttons and dispenses out a couple of scout flies and a power cell. I always kind of liked this part as a kid, but at the same time, I also hated it as a kid.
Yeah, normally you use those weird little platforms over there in the distance. I don't know if you could even see them, but there are these blue platforms. When you jump on one, the other spins around. It takes forever. You actually use that, so we're using our boosteds to get over there quickly.
We're using some good old boosted uppercuts to get across way faster. There's a lot of this game that you can really clear out very fast.
Yeah.
And I feel like you never really get to think about it sometimes, like, while you're running. Like, all you can think about sometimes is like, man, I'm losing so much time right now. But man, I have the luxury of sitting here and just watching. I'm not thinking about time loss right now. I'm like, yeah, we're doing a lot really fast.
Lucky for you.
I know.
I mean, I don't really expect a PB right now. I haven't played Hundo in a week.
It's not too long though.
No, it's not that bad.
What I still find funny going through LPC, so it's a little bit easier to explain if you've seen like a no LTS run or even the old 100% route. Wait,
what?
Oh, okay. I was confused by your scout flight count, and I forgot that you didn't get the one in the first room, so I'm assuming you get it later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You haven't done this route, have you?
Yeah, no, I haven't. Well, that's where I was confused by your first room because I saw you get into orb vent and everything, and I was like, oh, I thought we normally save that for the end, but I thought this was old route. Anyways, so normally before the first slide that you go down for runs like no LTS, which no LTS is short for no lava tube skip. It's pretty much the old any percent category. There is the lurker there where it's two lurkers standing on top of each other. And normally what we would do for no LTS is we do what's called piggyback clip, where you jump on top of that lurker, essentially becoming the third person in that piggyback ride. I guess that's a string of words that makes sense. And you use that to get over the wall's collision at the start of that first slide, and you can skip over the whole point of going through this room right here, which is to take a launch pad here in a second. And when you do that piggyback clip, you get into this room here to grab this power cell. And we used to do that in 100%, and then at some point we found out it's actually faster to do Lost Precursor City the intended way. Which I still honestly can't get over. Like, wow, we really just have been doing it this way because we thought it was faster, but didn't even bother this other way. Anyways, so now we have a button clip where we use the momentum of the button and Jak's crouch jump to get over the collision wall there and jump down and grab that chamber cell. So now we load out of that. And normally that chamber at the bottom of the first slide, that's where you find the chamber, and you want to use blue eco to unlock the doors of the chamber and ride it up to the surface. But that's slower, so why would we do that?
LPC is a lot of clipping out of bounds and stuff, just to get to cells faster.
Yeah, that one we call puzzle skip. You hit the platform down so that you get a little bit of like a height boost off of it, and then you is able to jump over the wall. Oh,
cool. Yeah,
this room is always frustrating with that box.
Yeah, you can't break those boxes without those guys hitting them. So sometimes they just don't.
Alright, and then we use some checkpoints or we have our different uses of like the checkpoints within the game to death warp back to the beginning of LPC, and now we're riding out. That was the whole level. Do you do fish skip or do you load?
I do fish skip. I didn't even know you can load, honestly.
Or I guess you wouldn't necessarily load here. You would more want to save and load, if anything. See, I love the newer form of fish skip, which we call that fish skip because it's very hard to get to Boggy Swamp from there without that lurker shark eating you. So, you know, essentially we're skipping that fish. But the older way that we had of doing fish skip there, we would do it from the lower platform, and that was a lot tighter in terms of like movement and getting over to Boggy Swamp, whereas doing it from that upper platform, we aim for a certain rock that will cause the lurker shark to spawn at a different point that's a little bit further away and gives it a bit more time to actually swim over and get onto the pontoons there.
Okay, that sucks. You really don't want to take damage here at all. But that's alright.
I would recommend dying after this cell. That way you're not super low. Because Boggy Swamp is a level that's very easy to take damage in.
I can, I don't know, let's see.
The checkpoint you'll get is right next to the frog.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it just helps a little bit if you're down onto like 1 health. Because trying to go through parts of this with 1 health can be a bit scary. Especially going into these little like side areas with jump pads to collect these scout flies.
Oh my god, I almost got hit.
I 100% thought you were gonna get hit by that rat, and I was so nervous. I felt my heart stop for a second.
It looked like I was.
I'm not even the one running. You're making me anxious, Truss.
I'm sorry. Okay, that was even more sketch.
Thank you for collecting the green eco.
I also forgot to roll jump there. You can skip that pull. Oh, come on. Thank you.
So now we're breaking these giant rock tethers that are holding that giant lurker zeppelin thing into the sky.
What's up, Kiwi?
I think they use the zeppelin to get out a piece of a precursor robot. I think that's what the whole point of it, but I'm not sure. There's a bit of lore.
Kind of forgetting the movement right now.
It look bad so far. I mean, it's about. Oh, I don't necessarily want to say it's about what I would do.
My health.
Because if it's about what I would do, you could do better. Taking a bit of extra damage there so that we can death warp out of here.
Yup.
Because, yeah, we can take the jump pad, but It's also faster to just get hit by a rat and respawn outside of here.
Yeah, you'll see. I'll spawn right here.
And now we get to do... Honestly, it was probably like one of my favorite things as a kid. Oh.
Come on, let me through.
Never mind. Which is the Lurker Ambush in Boggy Swamp, which honestly, I actually really liked this as a kid. I don't know why. I didn't like the Misty one, but this one I was like, yeah, this is fun. This is peak gaming.
Yeah, this one's way better than the Misty one. Which we don't do in runs at all, because you can just skip it.
Yeah, the power cell you can just jump up to and grab pretty much. Like normally you would do the ambush in Misty and a set of stairs would raise up and you can get to climb up to the cell, but we don't necessarily need to do that. But here the power cell won't actually spawn in until you actually do the ambush, so. But I always like grabbing that power cell with Blue Eco just because you get like the lines from the jump pad in the cutscene. I don't know. That always looked kind of cool to me. And now we finally get to use Flut. Best character. Cannot change my mind. Flut is powerful. She can break open orb crates. You break open a Scowfly crate and she just collects the fly instantly. And on top of it all, you walk in the black goo down there and she doesn't even take damage. On foot, you take damage, but her, she can walk through it, no problem. So, very lovable all around. And I would love if there was like a plush of Flut, because I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Alright.
Perhaps, TJ, it's time for you to learn to crochet.
I think it is. I think on top of that, I would do the Muse too. I just like all the animals. Screw the NPCs. I want the animals.
Yeah, the Muse would be cool.
What's a bathtub? Anyway, I got bigger problems.
And now we have arguably the funnest part of 100%. And that is the rats minigame. No, this is objectively the best part in the entire series. I can't argue with that. Who doesn't love rats minigame?
Rat game is
apart from
by far the hardest. Right? Yeah. I think so. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
I think it's between this or oh, actually, you know, honestly, I would say trying to get the golds in Jak 3 are harder. I think Jak 3 minigames are harder.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's true.
But in terms of Jak 1, this is probably like the hardest minigame. And like essentially you get 3 waves of rats and you have to keep them from eating at least one of them little vittles there, as Boggy Billy would say. There's a lot of speculation and sort of argument as to what they actually are. I've always seen them as like cupcakes / muffins.
They look like muffins to me.
Like, I would 100% see those as muffins.
They're not like mushrooms?
I don't know.
You know, I can see mushroom a little bit with that. That's where it's like, every suggestion I see on like what they are, like I can see it, you know? It's a reasonable suggestion, but nobody can come to an agreement because they never actually say what they are. Boggy Billy only refers to them as snacks and vittles, which I believe is just another word for snack.
I don't know.
Boggy Billy's got quite the vocabulary.
I was gonna ask chat what they thought they might be.
That was sketchy.
I got real scared there for a second. You have to keep the rats from eating any snacks. They're not allowed to eat any of them, or else you lose the minigame.
Oh, good lord! Yeah, and you lose a lot of time. What is it like? A minute?
I think it depends on what phase. But I think third phase, yeah, it's probably at least a minute. And sometimes too, I've had it where you fire off the shot, but it won't connect with the rat before it can eat the snack. And you'll sit there and it'll show the rat eating the snack, and you'll see like the yellow eco shot that's kind of stuck there on the rat, and it's just heartbreaking to see. But thankfully, we didn't have to see that. Now we're going on to breaking the last tether, which will actually have the longest cutscene because we will actually see that Zeppelin fly away. There it goes. Nice little throwback to Ambush.
Chat says they think it's mushrooms.
You know, I think I can live with mushrooms for that. I'm sorry, I always saw them as like little muffins, you know, where it's like they got little red brownish tops, and then it looks like they have wrappers on them. That and I always went back and forth between cupcakes. It's like, oh, it might be like an orange frosting because it's got like little specks of like green and red on there on top. So it's like, you know, those gotta be like sprinkles. Oh,
Payne. Okay though.
Oh, you're not set too far back.
I guess I swam for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Or I probably waited too long.
Something like that. Right now we're
I forgot. What? Because
What? Hang on, that was a first for me. I've never seen that before.
You've never seen that? So it's because since I loaded in and went straight to Claw, he's not loaded in yet.
Oh, he tripped on the way up. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you get to an area too fast, the way that the game, because the devs wanted the game to seem continuous, you know, like they didn't want any breaks in it. So the way that they stop you if you're going too fast, that way the level can load in, is they force Jak into a tripping animation. And so there, Jak went into the tripping animation during that ledge grab, and it just looked very weird because I had never seen that.
Right. And you probably didn't notice, but on my way into Boggy, I waited a little bit before walking in so that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, there's different times that, like, you can see it happen. Now, anyone who has played the game before, you might notice that we left some stuff behind in Rock Village. Like, we're already up here and fighting Claw, like, we should be heading on to the next level. But we're actually going to go back for those, because there's one NPC there whom we brought up earlier, the Warrior, where he has one of the longest cutscenes in the game when you talk to him the first time. However, you can skip that cutscene by either A, fighting Claw, or B, talking to or watching the Kira cutscene at the Levitator before fighting Claw. But because we did the Blue Sage cutscene skip at the beginning of the hub, Kira is not at that machine, so we don't even have the option to talk to her. Not that we would choose to watch the cutscene, because we can just skip it. We don't need to watch it. But by doing those, we skip over the first talking to Warrior cutscene, and I really don't know how long that cutscene is off the top of my head. It's like 3 or 4 minutes, I feel like. Like, it's a pretty long cutscene.
I think boulder skip was one of the earliest tricks found that was like a pretty significant skip.
Yeah.
Just forgot to punch off.
I believe that's part of like the world record history. But now we're heading back into Rock Village, and we're gonna collect up the rest of everything. We're gonna free up the last of the 7 Scoutflies, and then we'll also be collecting each of the Gamblers' power cells, as well as the Warrior's power cell.
Wonderful. You brought me the Precursor.
Here, I'll do a little bit of the Patrick Warburton, Joe Swanson.
Yes, let's go.
I'll fix the bridge. But don't ask me to get involved with that creature again. Wonderful. You brought me the Precursor once.
Be a warrior the rest of the game.
Well done.
It's alright, now we're gonna collect up these gambler bonuses. And then we get to move on to Hub 3.
Yeah, I think I'm like an hour in at this point.
Hour and 4 minutes. And 26 seconds.
Right on.
Or I think you're a little bit further ahead than that. I'm just going off with the stream timer.
Yeah, okay.
Right, now you finally get to leave Hub 2 after collecting these last orbs. Which these orbs are a lot easier to collect after talking to the warrior because he finally moves his pontoons back. Now we get to do boulder skip again. Which honestly, I looked a little low. Okay. If you go too low on boulder skip, you can miss the loading trigger for Mountain Pass entirely, and that last step up there at the top just won't be there. You just fall straight through. But now we get to move on, head into here, and race these guys.
The lag time, yeah. So, I'm gonna try it. Basically there's...
No, I was gonna ask...
What?
I was gonna ask if you were gonna go for
the lag.
Any hops.
I mean, might as well. Why not?
I've already done mirror cutscene skip. We can do some lag.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you want to go back to explaining that.
So there's this big boulder over here that you need yellow eco to break normally. There's a few ways to get the cell behind it, and one of them is going full speed against this stalagmite. Oh, I missed an orb. All right. I'll go back for that after. See if I can do this though.
So now we want to use full speed with the zoomer.
There we go.
Oh, nice. Very solid.
Sucks because I gotta go all the way back for that orb, but that's fine.
Yeah. You might have had the time to turn around and grab it, but it would have made the ending of this very tight. Like,
yeah, would have been worth it.
Like, I don't know. I think you would have just had to have skipped the scoutfly.
It was in such a weird spot. Okay, so now I could just go like this. I could get the checkpoint there and just drive back and get it. It's like the fastest thing to do.
There's not many other options we have at the moment. So we'll do a bit of backtracking. Don't normally do this, but you know.
Yeah,
we'll do it for you guys.
That orb was in such a weird spot, I didn't really want to turn around for it. Even though it probably would have saved me more time than doing this.
But now we can just go ahead and fall down there. Because we got the checkpoint, we can just go ahead and grab the cell.
Alright, another cutscene skip.
You know, I want to say this is actually probably one of the ones that gave me the most trouble when I first started running. Which, honestly, understandably so. Right there, you want to use a pause buffer, punch off the button, punch through that doorway, and then dive into the lava. And diving into the lava as the cutscene is playing, or actually just dying in general as a cutscene is playing, it'll take Jak out of the cutscene escape and just completely skip the cutscene altogether. And it's completely different from Blue Sage because now that cutscene is no longer active. The game is in like a state of, yes, the cutscene has played. Which, if you die on like the last possible frame, I believe, I don't know if it's last frame or last couple of frames, but if you were that slow, you'll actually end up hearing the entirety of the cutscene's dialogue over the gameplay, because the game tries to play the cutscene anyways, but because Jak died during the cutscene, they decide, well, we'll let the dialogue go, but you can actually play the game, I guess. Now we are entering in Spider Cave. Take out these 9 lurkers. How many 9 lurkers are there? It's like 9? I want to say it's 9.
I honestly have no idea. 9, let's think. What did I just get?
So
3 there? 4? I got 4.
4. Now we're going on to number 5. We're gonna learn here together. We're all gonna get to learn today. All right, this will be number 6. Oh. And when you get all of these 9 lurkers, you know, obviously, like most other things that we do in this game, we get another power cell. And we also get some orbs out of it. Not all of them will drop orbs when they die, but I want to say all but one of them drops orbs. Which, this would be the only, this is the only enemy in the game where you'll get orbs by killing it. Now also simultaneously we're going through right here. I'm gonna break another dark eco crystal that's hiding down there in that pool. And how many dark eco crystals are there? I'm just gonna ask how many of what there is until I feel confident in any of my answers. I'm gonna say there's 5, but I feel like that's wrong.
Also, I think there was
in the dark cave. This one.
I think there was 8 or 9 gnawing lurkers.
Yeah, it was 9 at the end.
Yeah, okay.
I started counting something completely different before we even finished counting the 9 lurkers. Yeah, that underwater crystal shot, that one can be fun sometimes, where you have to be above the dark eco pool and shoot at the same time, and then also pull back enough. And it's not necessarily that hard of a shot to get, it's just a matter of making sure you have enough yellow eco getting over to it, and not doing what I've seen some people do, where instead of firing a yellow eco shot, they'll just ground pound straight into the dark eco, because they ran out. Now we're doing a bit of orb cleanup over here.
Yep, just collecting orbs.
We're not going to clean up all the orbs here. We're going to have to come back through here anyways, because like a lot of different levels, Spider Cave is a one-way in, one-way out. There we go, last dark eco crystal, which I believe is number 5.
Here we can do a little death warp. Get this checkpoint with the camera, like that.
I hate that death warp so much.
I know, I used to hate it.
With that one, so your goal with that death warp is you're trying to get the camera to touch the actual checkpoint itself. And sometimes if you don't bring the camera in close enough or move it fast enough, you just don't hit it entirely. And if you don't bring it in close enough, then sometimes the camera will just get stuck in the wall and you don't get the checkpoint, and then you're sad. Oh, that worked.
Back up. I don't have enough eco though.
That was a pretty decent backup though. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have thought of that. I don't think I'm big-brained enough for that. Now we're launching up to these poles. Grabbing up some orbs. I would say this power cell is probably like one of the most haunting ones just because of no LTS. And it's just from doing a boosted from that power cell to the top of the robot. It is very painful when you miss it. But thankfully we don't have to worry about that because we got a bunch of orbs over here to collect anyways. Yeah, I want to say the first 100% run that I watched, it was probably Josh's 100%, like, I want to say it was like 134 at the time or something like that. But I remember watching him land right before that burner and then do an uppercut over to, like, right before those poles. And I remember watching that going, that is the hardest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know if I can ever do it. And then having actually done it in runs, honestly, it's really not that hard. It is a lot easier than it looks and you might think it is. There's a lot more in this run. It's a lot harder.
Yeah,
I really looked at that and I was like,
I don't do it because when I was practicing it, learning Hundo, I got like a boosted one time, and one time I just bonked on the burner and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna jump across like a casual.
Yeah. So now here, we're gonna use that yellow eco because right there, that eco vent that we see. Oh, damn.
I was right behind you, Jak! Really?
Oh, and it cuts.
I was.
So right at the beginning of that little spider nest, there is a eco vent that's not using any eco.
Oh, Payne.
And that is because that vent can only be opened after going to Snowy Mountain. Because like the blue eco vent, there is a yellow eco. Or like the blue eco vent switch, rather. There's a yellow eco one in Snowy Mountain.
Right, so we have to carry this eco all the way over here. Get both of these. There we go.
Now sure, you could go to Snowy Mountain before Spider Cave, but in order to go up to Snowy Mountain, after hitting the red sage button in the hut, you need to collect 2 power cells to unlock the gondola going up to Snowy Mountain. So it's usually just, or not even usually, it just is a lot easier to go into Spider Cave and just 100% that, then hit your 2 cell power requirement very easily.
Yeah, now we pray that we get all the orbs. I think I did though.
Orb crown's looking good. There's a lot of these orb crowns that are ingrained into my mind at this point.
At least I got a good cycle. Yay.
Didn't have to wait for that platform. Always a bonus. I always find getting that power cell kind of funny just because, like, the camera angle during that cutscene is not consistent.
I know, it's kind of weird how the camera just decides it wants to go wherever the hell it wants.
And you notice there's a power cell that we just got that wasn't there when we first went in. That is the secret cell of Volcanic Crater, in which it is in a crate much like the orb crates, but you can only break it with yellow eco, so carry that out of Spider Cave and shoot it on the way out. What's difficult with it though, if you don't break the Scoutfly that is outside of Spider Cave next to those rails, it will just completely, like, the yellow eco will prioritize the Scoutfly, but it'll pretty much never hit the Scoutfly because it's also trying to hit the rails that are right there. So, you know, just a little tidbit there about that. Now we're up in Snowy Mountain, one of my favorite levels of the game by far. I always prefer, I will say, it's not necessarily at the time of day that I like, because the game runs on a 20-minute day-night cycle, and, you know, every so often you hit the cycle right to get snowy during, like, sunrise, and that is easily my favorite form of Misty. Yep, Misty, Snowy Mountain.
That sounds awesome.
The hidden cell is...
Very nice. It feels
hidden cell is
very serene.
Any other way to do it? To get the hidden cell?
Well, the big thing, so... one, you need to make sure that the scout fly right there is broken already. But then the recommendation that a lot of us would have is to grab the yellow eco that's like right above the entrance, like we saw Tross grab. That's going to be the closest vent to the entrance. And then you just want to, once you get to the steps leading out of Spider Cave, that's when you can generally start firing the yellow eco shots. And they usually hit. And so now we get to utilize Flet again. We're going to go through this little obstacle course and collect up some orbs. Now, normally at the end of this obstacle course, we would hit that button that opened up the fortress. However, we're able to do that on foot as well. So we'll just do that instead. So punch off with Flet there, and now we're gonna do a bit of shenanigans. We're gonna break Flet out of that section, and now we're free to use her across all of Snowy. Now we're heading up into the fortress.
That part sucks.
Oh, getting to kind of like jump off of the orb vent to jump up there on the step.
Just avoiding the ice lurker, that part's kind of tough.
Yeah, I hate that. And so right there, you get the nice little power cell cutscene skip. That is, I don't know how many power cells cutscenes we can skip. I believe it's like 3 or 4 now. In terms of like how we do that one. So that one, we use the camera a bit to turn away from the cell, and it deloads the cell right as you hit it, effectively skipping the cutscene. I probably explained that wrong, but that's my understanding of it. So I'm gonna stick to it. Now, this is probably my most hated part of Snowy Mountain. Just because of those blockers. Because if you hit the blocker, you get kind of thrown off to the side a bit, and being on an ice island where you can get thrown off the side very easily, it's not fun. Because when you die in Flet, you gotta go back and break her out again. And she's not exactly super close to right there. So now we're heading into the little hidden cave of Snowy.
Please.
Bro.
There we go. Oh my god, man. Oh my god.
Oh man, I'm surprised you didn't like slide off and fall.
No, I just mash ground pound if it doesn't work the first time.
So there, we effectively skipped the whole obstacle course that we're supposed to do. Because honestly, like, even doing it now, that obstacle course is not easy. And it's mostly the ice physics. Now we've opened up that yellow vent switch. That opens up all of the yellow vents that were previously closed throughout the game, like this one right in front of us and the one in Spider Cave. I don't know if there's any other yellow eco vents that are capped off.
What?
Okay, that was strange.
Yeah, these blockers can do that sometimes.
Sometimes you'll stand on top of it, and sometimes it'll say, no.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
I did appreciate that you turned the camera to check to see if you got all the orbs over there inside.
You can see during the cutscene too, but sometimes the cutscene camera is like
sometimes
kind of off.
Yeah, we are getting into that time of day of Snowy that I love. That's a little sunrise Snowy. It's very serene and peaceful. It relaxes me, unlike the rest of this game. And now for what we call gondola skip. Here we jump over.
I went too far. That's okay though.
Yeah, that's not the end of the world. But so we use Flut to jump over the depth plane that's there at Snowy, and right under that depth plane is then the loading trigger for Volcanic Crater. I guess not necessarily right below it, but it's a little bit below it. So you want to jump over the depth plane, but then pull back enough so that Flut hits the trigger for Volcanic Crater. That way you actually get the Volcanic Crater checkpoint. Otherwise, sometimes you'll sometimes you'll get down into Volcanic Crater and you won't have gotten that checkpoint, and then you'll just respawn up in Snowy. And right there, it looked like it didn't necessarily look like you went too far. It more looked like you slid off the rock.
Yeah, I slid off the rock.
Yeah, and so that just kind of sent you in the void.
Yeah, some of those rocks are solid, and then if you land on top like that, it'll slide you off and you'll get way too much momentum and fall into the void.
Which I will say, if there was a side of the cave to land on that was like the right side that you want to land on, or the correct side to land on, because on that side you just go straight into the void. On the other side, the, I guess, lava plane that's in Volcanic Crater, it extends out underneath the miners here, and when Flut hits the lava, she just ends up bouncing there for a little bit until she finally just dies, and it takes a while sometimes.
Yeah, so that wasn't that bad. I don't know, that probably lost me like, what, 10 or something?
Something like that.
10 maybe? Maybe more. 15.
I think it's a little bit more, because the Power Cell cutscenes on Flut are shorter than any of the on-foot ones that Jak has.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I always forget that's a thing.
Yeah. Which, I will say I'm a little sad that we didn't get to show it off with that, but when you get down into Volcanic Crater with Flut, because Volcanic Crater isn't a level that was designed for Flut, and she's not necessarily meant to be there, her entire model deloads, and so Jak is still in his like riding animation. However, there's just no Flut there, so he's just kind of in midair, and it looks very funny.
Seek the pure light, for within its flame,
this looks funny to me.
You can gain my power cells by bringing 120 precursor orbs.
Which, I will say, not having Flut for the rest of the crater is actually kind of preferable sometimes, though, just because if you hit a loading trigger for any other level in Volcanic Crater, it will hardlock the game.
Yeah,
because Flut is not meant to be.
I don't mind that at all. Hardlocking would have been way worse.
Yeah, we can live with this.
Yeah, not bad.
And counts are looking good so far. And 20 orbs is where we want to be at. Alright, and then that will pretty much be the end of Hub 3, right before we go into Lava Tube. You know, for a second there, I thought you were about to go for the rocket for Lava Tube skip, just to do it.
Just
the flex.
Just for fun, and then just go talk to Kira after.
Yeah.
Stand up to this lava, but the shield still has a limit.
Now, we get to talk to Kira at the beginning of Lava Tube. She shows her concern for her zoomer and zero concern for us.
Would do to your zoomer if the shield gives out.
Yeah, the heat. What? The zoomer? Hey, what about us? Don't you think we could look for a safer route?
Daxter gets it.
Look, I've released more
She does not care what happens to you and Jack.
Yeah, sure.
Or she doesn't care what happens to Jak and Daxter throughout the entirety of Lava Tube. She just cares that her zoomer makes it to the other end in one piece.
Yeah, she doesn't give a damn.
Now we go through, and I want to say I think the fortunate part about 100% for Lava Tube, all the orbs are right here in the beginning. So it's pretty nice not having to worry about orbs later on in the level, because there are a lot of parts that I would say later on in the level that I would not want to have to worry about orbs for. Especially those, like, I guess you can call them rails, or different tracks that are like later on in it. I would hate having to deal with orbs on that.
Yeah,
We'll see those
rails.
in just a second here.
I guess, yeah, they're... I don't know, don't some people call them pipes or something, too?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never had a name for them. So, destroyed all those oranges there. Open up the door. Oh, getting a little hot.
Getting a little hot in here.
Yeah, this is the part that I was talking about. I would not want to deal with collecting orbs on here, mostly because there are different tracks that you can be on. Which,
Yeah,
we
that
do
would-
jump around a lot between them.
That's so true. That'd be awful.
I do think Lava Tube is one of the, like, weirder levels for me going through now as a speedrunner, where I remember as a kid, like, the idea of making it through Lava Tube without dying, that seemed impossible. And now it's like, you know, you try to go through Lava Tube and you can't do it without dying, like, you should practice Lava Tube.
Do you find it tough to play through this game casually now that you know the speedrun?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Fair.
definitely.
Like, there's different parts that I could definitely do casually, but I don't know if I could do different parts without just, like, skipping over it the way I know.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, like, boosted uppercuts have become so ingrained into, like, my playing of this game, I don't know if I can play it without them.
We're doing
So
more
right there, we do
cutscene.
another...
More cutscene skips.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
We pause buffer that button at the end of Lava Tube so that we can skip Kira's cutscene as she gets there, explaining how Samos also managed to get kidnapped by Golem Maya like the other sages. And because we died during that cutscene, it's similar to the Red Sage cutscene where we're put into a state of cutscene is played. And right there is arguably, or what we already just seen was arguably one of the funnier skips to me finding out about, because that skip, we call it Citadel skip, where if you either A, watch the cutscene and then save and load immediately, or if you pause buffer and die during the cutscene, you'll just spawn at the top of Citadel instead of right at the entrance of Citadel. And they realized their mistake, you know, after a couple of versions, so it's actually a version exclusive skip. You need to have a Black Label version 1 or 2 or NTSC
Alright,
or any PAL
boosted.
copy.
There we go.
Now we're going through, and instead of doing any of the trials to free the sages in Citadel, because we were at the top, we were able to just jump down to Blue Sage and Yellow Sage very easily and just collect the orbs that we need and their power cells as well. Although we do have to do a little bit of... Wait, this one's Yellow Sage. We do have to do a little bit of Yellow Sage's trial, and it's just because there are orbs throughout it. And then as for Red Sage, his is the only one where we fully do it. We will get to Red Sage in a moment here. In this room, we always just refer to this one as a jump pad room. Pretty self-explanatory. There's a bunch of jump pads, and it's in a room.
This is a pretty good cycle, actually.
Yeah, honestly, this is about what you would kind of hope for.
Yeah.
I think this last one, like, might be, like, a little bit behind of, like, where you might want it to be, but otherwise, that was still a pretty good cycle.
Okay.
Now, what is arguably one of the bigger pains of Citadel is now we have that checkpoint at the beginning of the Yellow Sage trial, and we are stuck with it until we get another checkpoint, which checkpoints are at the entrances of Citadel and the start and end of each trial. Which, some of those checkpoints are a lot worse to have and a lot worse to deal with. We're right.
Oh!
Whoa!
Backwards boosted.
Nice little backwards boosted there. That was pretty cool. I honestly thought that was going to send you flying off into the abyss on the other side.
Yeah, so did I.
I got pretty close.
Yeah, it was bad.
Now we're going through the Red Sage trial, which we got these little bunny lurkers, as we call them. They're all hopping around, being happy and whatnot. And we gotta break these generators to stop them from spawning in. But then we go back in this hall to sort of coax them back towards us. That's a better word, thank you.
Yeah. Or like corral them, I don't know.
Yeah, you want to corral them into that hallway. That way they're in like a smaller confined space, so it's a lot easier to kill them all because that last door won't open until all of them have been killed. So that makes that a lot easier. Which, that's right, there's a lot of different things that you can do for there. For me, I like ground and pounding a lot, and that's just because when Jak has ready go, a sort of like wave goes out whenever he ground pounds, and so he ends up hitting a lot more after or outside of his range. Oh, okay. This is not a bad cycle. We take these. Oh.
Oh.
Making me nervous.
That was a good cycle though.
That was a very good cycle. Sometimes you can get really screwed with those cycles and you're just stuck there waiting.
All right.
Now we've seen 101 power cells. We saw 2,000 orbs. Don't even need to check the scout flies because you wouldn't have 101 power cells if you didn't have all the scout flies. Now all that's left is to fight Gall and Maya and their giant precursor robot.
Pain of Hundo is over.
Just like that.
Just like that.
That was a pretty good run.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, thanks for showing it off, Trots. Do you have any shout outs or comments you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Shout out all the homies, all the Jak homies. Shout out TJ, of course. Who else? Aslov, Rhoda, Josh.
Gotta give
everybody.
Gotta give a one last free Morty.
Free Morty. Shout out Morty, even though he doesn't play Jak anymore.
Maybe we can get Morty back sometime.
That's the dream.
That's the goal.
I'm never giving up on him, no matter what anyone says.
All right, everybody. Well, I mentioned this a few times during the run, but if you are not following Trots or TJJ Gamers, make sure you do that. Both of you did an excellent job here tonight, and I put those links in the Twitch chat, so go ahead and follow. But thank you so much for tuning into Time Capsule, everyone. Before we go, I would like to mention that AGDQ 2023 online will be January 8th through the 15th, and game submissions and event volunteer applications are now open. until September 24th. So you can go to our website, gamesdonequick.com, for more information on that. And if you are watching on YouTube from the future, make sure you go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. If you're interested in watching our shows live, we start weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we have No Category Left Behind, followed by Speedruns from the Crypt, and that all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have been your host for the evening, Smooth Operative. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy. We'll see you next time.
All right. We'll be coming up on time here in a minute.
White Eagle! That could be the stuff to chain me back!
Shout out Steven. Shout out Zyphles. Steven.
I do want to point out real quick, nice little one frame there for final phase.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that spin jump was a one frame trick. And it saves, if you get all three, it saves like 15 seconds, which is actually a lot of time.
I think for final phase, it's like 6 seconds because you can get a quick shot with the...
Ready to stop and now.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, just over 140. Awesome.
Not bad.
Very
not
solid.
Bad. Not bad.
All right.
GG's.
Yeah, GG Trots. Thank you again so much for being here. Take it easy, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.